Hello everybody, welcome to ICC's Game of the Day. I'm Grandmaster Joel Benjamin, and today I have round 8 coverage of the Norway tournament. And it was a pretty exciting round. 3 of the 5 games were decisive, and I'm going to highlight 3 of them for you. And the first game that I'm going to show you is the most important in the standings, as the leader, Magnus Carlsen, unexpectedly lost, and not narrowly either, to Levon Aronian. It was a game that Carlsen, being a point ahead in the standings, if he could just make a draw with black, would be almost a shoo-in to win the tournament with only one more round after. But it was not to be. And let's see how Aronian got this critical victory. He started with c4 and was a little bit clever with the move order g3, holding back this knight from c3. Knight c3 is more commonly played, but black can play then e5, and a lot of these systems with bishop b4 obviously are on the table with the knight on c3, otherwise it wouldn't make much sense. So I think that Aronian was being a little bit crafty with the move order. Now Carlsen, thinking about all these things, decided to play c6, as white is committed to a fianchetto. This kind of Slav approach, I think, is often very effective. But of course, Aronian gambits the c4 pawn, as all the top grandmasters do one way or another these days. And Carlsen is not really the kind of player to grab pawns like that, although he can trade and give it back later. He decided to play the move g6. My broadcast partner, Krzysztof Zielecki, and I are a little bit divided on this move, as he has played this type of position with white and feels that white has an edge here. To me, this is a very solid way for black to play. However, neither one of us liked the direction that Carlsen went in here. I think that he should maintain this wall of pawns against the white bishop on g2, perhaps play a move like bishop to g4. He can happily trade off that light square bishop for a knight if it comes to that, and maybe even further building the wall with e6, and just to, block out that light square bishop and perhaps offer a trade of the other bishops. So I think that would be kind of a solid way to play. I did not like this d takes c4, b takes c4, and c5. White is playing with an extra pawn in the center, but also this position maybe would be kind of good for white to begin with. But black has taken 2 moves to put this pawn on c5, so it's kind of like he's a move behind by playing black, and then he wastes another move with the c pawn, and it seems like a little bit too much. I think that white has a solid advantage in a position that's really quite easy to play. Knight e5, and this opens up all the diagonals. If black were to trade, let's say something kind of simple like this, continuation, trade off a few pieces, white could look forward to a wing attack with a4, a5, as black would almost certainly have to play b6 at some point to be able to develop his pieces. And with the pawn on b6, this a4, a5 attack would almost certainly leave black with a weakness. So Carlsen played what looked to be a bit strange, knight a5, although there was some logic to it, that perhaps he would trade off the knight on e5 with the knight on f6, maybe trade a pair of bishops, and in that case the knight on a5 could be useful in plugging the queen side against this a4, a5 idea. But after queen c1, he did not try to trade off the knight. Instead, he played queen c1, and he looked to attack the knight and chase it away. But I think he really underestimated this move, f4. If the knight just simply retreated, black could trade bishops, and then again that knight on a5 would be pretty safe. But after this move, f4, now bishop c3 comes in the air, putting the knight on a5 in real jeopardy.